So the first thing we need to do is prep the filling for our chorizo omelette. So take your sweet peppers. We need a really sharp knife. We want to remove the top and the core of the peppers, and we want to dice these up relatively fine. We don't want the filling of the omelette to be too chunky. Once you've diced up your sweet peppers, we want to dice up our spring onions. Chop your spring onions into the same size pieces as your sweet peppers and also pop those to the side. Next, our chorizo. You can use a spicy or a regular chorizo, really is up to you. So dice up the chorizo, same size as the peppers and the spring onion, stick those to one side. And next, our chilies. Slice up your chilies, pop them into a bowl. And next, our cherry tomatoes. Really simple, just slice them in half, pop those into a bowl. And next, our herbs. So take your parsley, remove some of the bigger stalks and stems, and we want to dice up the parsley really nice and fine. Stick that to one side. Next, our chives. So chop your way through the chives, get those really nice and fine as well. And now we want to prep our cheese for the omelette. So start off by grating your extra mature cheddar cheese into a small bowl or a ramekin. Pop your cheddar to one side, and next, our Parmesan. Also grate the Parmesan into a small bowl or a ramekin. And the last thing we need to do for our omelette is prep our eggs. Crack your eggs into a bowl. Typically I'll use 3 to 5 eggs for one person. Give those a really good whisking with a fork. Don't season your eggs. And now we're ready to cook. So first we're going to cook off our filling. So take a frying pan, add a nice splash of olive oil, and then the first thing to go in is our chorizo. Fry off your chorizo on a medium heat for about a minute or two, and then chuck in your chilies. And then we want to chuck in our peppers. Give this a couple of minutes on a medium to high heat. Start getting a little bit of colour on the chorizo and softening off our peppers. And then we want to throw in our spring onions. Spend a few minutes roasting off your spring onions. So very quickly, while we're cooking the filling of our omelette, please hit that subscribe button below and give the video a like. It really helps me out here. The last thing to go in is our cherry tomatoes. We don't want to break these down too much, so chuck them in, and we only want to give these a few minutes just to start to soften a little bit. Stir everything through, and at this point we want to season with sea salt and black pepper. Give them about 2 or 3 minutes, and then go in with a nice generous amount of your fresh diced parsley. Give it all a really good stir through, and then I like to stick the filling to one side while we make our omelette. We need a nice flat bottomed non-stick frying pan. Get that on a medium heat. Chuck in a nice splash of olive oil and a good generous knob of butter. Make sure that the butter starts to sizzle, and then pour in your eggs. For the first 30 seconds or so, stir the eggs through. We want to build up some really nice curds. Move the pan around so that the egg coats the bottom of the pan as it starts to cook, and we need to be quite quick. So shake the pan a few times, and when it starts to cook through, give the omelette a good season with sea salt and black pepper. Sprinkle in your cheddar cheese and a really nice generous amount of your Parmesan, and then spoon in your filling. At this point, the omelette should be pretty much good to go. So the way I like to do this, because this omelette is a real beast, is fold in the sides of the omelette, give it a little sprinkle with chives and a touch more Parmesan cheese, and now we're ready to plate, which can be a little bit awkward. Drop it onto the plate and then fold it in half on itself, so we've got a nice great big omelette pillow. It looks great on the plate and it tastes just as good. So finish with a sprinkle of your fresh chives and a grating of your Parmesan cheese, and there we have a beast of an omelette.